Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us live. And we are here. It is me. It is Richard Listens. Much easier to pronounce than my last name, as my guest is letting me know, Mr. Yuval Ben Nun. And thanks to all of you who've been following, interacting, reaching out, support on Instagram and our patreon.com/Richard Listens page. Hope to be bringing you 2 new live shows per week and also revamping some of our old ones. So thanks to all our guests. We hope to be giving you a lot of at least inspiration while you're still at home, trying new recipes, playing board games, whatever floats your boat, as we, in at least our part of the world, extend the quarantine. But in other parts of the world, life goes on. Yes, exactly. Where Yuval is, life is moving on, and the focus for business owners may not be just about surviving the quarantine, but how to continue and thrive and grow for the rest of 2020, how to reset in the new normal. So without further ado, welcome. Thank you for making time today, Mr. Yuval Ben Nun.
Thank you. Happy to be
here. How did you choose your Zoom background for today? That's what everyone wants to know.
My Zoom background for today, I was looking for something sunny. Right now there is a real heat here in Israel. We're over 40 degrees Celsius for the last week. So, we're burning here. But as far as I heard, as far as I understand, it helps against the corona. It's killing the corona as well.
That's what they say, that one of the things that heat would help. So yeah, that's kind of one of the ironies of being in Los Angeles. We haven't quite had the hot months. It's been cold and windy, so I'm sure it didn't help. But we hope they're finding a cure and a vaccine out there, and that this part of our history will be a distant memory at some point soon. So tell us, Yuval, other than I see you out there on social media jumping in sulfur pools and getting back out to nature, which I know you love, how are you and your company, PPC Winner? How have you put a positive spin on this as your employees try and come back to work and you try and get back to establishing a sense of normalcy?
So actually, I was looking back for the last 2 months, and we took the time to rearrange things. We're working from home. Actually, I think we saw around us, everybody are evolving to work from home, to work through videos. And today, sometimes even when you can meet people, they still want to do videos, but I like to talk with people. So we're back in the office from about 2 weeks ago or more. Here in Israel, the pandemic is, is very in the low stage right now. There are not that many people sick, not that many dead people, and most of the restrictions were removed, and you can do anything you want almost, going outdoor and stuff. So we took this time and we stopped our advertising. It wasn't the time to advertise and bring new clients. It was time to rethink, arrange our tools, and take things forward, and also arrange ourselves for our current clients, for our existing clients, to improve the service for them.
Yeah, and how are you doing with all this, being back in the office, having people, some of them want to meet with you, some of them are like, no, this is good. Actually, you're a people person. You like being face to face.
Yeah, but I'm also finding myself waking up in the morning, and it's weird for me to go out. For about 6 or 8 weeks we were at home, and all of a sudden, I'm getting up, I need to get dressed, I need to shave. It was a bit different. You were talking with people, you could have only shave and have a decent t-shirt, not more than that. But actually going to
my whole white t-shirt draw is just like, I'm discovering ones I hadn't seen in years. So yeah, that was the go-to, huh?
Yeah, so you need to arrange yourself. But one of the reasons that I insisted for us going back was, at the end of the day, there is nothing like meeting the people and working together, and especially on a small stuff like ours. We have people around the world, but in Israel, we're only a few people, like about 7 or 8. And when you're sitting together, you always have the time to communicate. And it's not like opening a Zoom or calling someone. When you're calling someone, it takes time, he answers or he's not. And if you're sitting in the same office, you just turn in your head, asking a question, and you can continue. So It's very important as I see it. But I had a conversation yesterday, I think, with a friend, and she told me, listen, we all had kind of a near-death experience in a way, so everybody are appreciating things better, doing things better, investing more time in themselves. I see it. And I think it kind of made us, most of us, I don't know if to say better people, I don't know, but we appreciate more what we have, I think.
Yeah, and I hope that we hope that's a change that will last, right? Yeah, I think that's a good point, that everyone's been through this scare and this fear of getting grandparents sick or parents, and so really having to think respectfully about interactions for 95% of the people in the grocery store or in the line, right? So it does help you think a lot differently about things. Certainly, there's other people taking advantage of situations like this.
At least people are washing their hands more.
Well, and you know what? I tell everybody and everyone I joke with who works in a hospital that when I went to, they pay hospital employees a lot of money each year to go to your reducing any kind of spread of the flu or any kind of disease, and the entire presentation can be summed up in wash your hands. So in fact, they had a nice song that you would sing if you were 5 years old, right? Because simple practices probably in hygiene, but we'd be surprised, right? We're all adults who were raised differently and came from different habits and carry them with us as we go on. So not too late to have a little healthy dose of fear to help jumpstart change once again. Again, to all our listeners out there, we're here live with CEO of PPC winner, Yuval Ben-Nun, who is feeling like a liberated man. So tell us, now that you don't have to deal with the quarantine, is there just a relief, or can you focus on the goals for the rest of 2020 for your business? I mean, do you
First, there
quickly
is
make
some
that
relief.
shift?
There is some relief also, for the mind and for the soul. I'm doing things like last weekend I was off road for 2 days in the desert without no cellular reception. It was amazing. I think I slept the best I ever did in the last few years. I don't know, in a tent with my daughter. It was amazing. And it helps me focus on things now. We have some peace of mind, and we're looking on the 2020 as a year to actually grow from the situation that we were at. And as I said, we developed a lot of things which are like creating a comprehensive solution for Amazon sellers that we're managing their advertising, and now we're bringing them some more free tools. And we're looking to expand our services and have more complementary services. So we will be like a one-stop shop. So I think we had the time to develop and go there. And now the goal is basically to establish PPC winner as a solution for a bit more than what it was before, maybe even much more than what it was before. And we got a chance because of the situation, and it's amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of that, I know I was able to give a presentation last week on quarantunity, right? A lot of it, how did the quarantine become an opportunity, and not only in terms of things that people discovered or rediscovered, but in terms of, like you're saying, ways in which it propels us forward. In my line of work, a lot of that was mindfulness work, learning how to be still, but some of it was also thinking about ways to use technology to move forward in your business. What did the pandemic teach you, Yuval, that you'll retain in your business and keep you successful for many years to come?
I think that the main thing that it was a big lesson that all of us learned, and I learned specifically for myself, was that you need to keep an open mind, to be flexible, very fast. We moved to work from home in a different way. We adjusted our business models. We changed a lot of things. And it was something very unique because we're working with people from around the world. I have people that I'm working with from the United States, from India, from China, from other places. And everybody were in the same situation. And every discussion was open with, I think, at least 30 minutes of how are you doing? What are you doing? How things are with you guys? And I think it kind of made the world flat again without the flights. It make us all come closer to each other. Everybody sees each other in in a different light maybe. And I can say, for example, that for us, this opportunity was that through these channels that all of a sudden you're meeting people. I was talking to people over the phone. It wasn't that common to talk with people through videos. You either flew to meet them or something like that. And all of a sudden, I managed to close quite a nice partnership with a very big company that will work with us. And it's amazing, to take them as partners. They're a virtual bank, world first. I think we hosted them at one of the times. And all of a sudden, I managed to actually talk with people and feel like I'm sitting with them, because it was very common to talk over a video and not just have a phone call, which is older than to see the person. So I think that this flexibility with being creative will take us further, and we'll be able to evolve and take the business to the next step.
Yeah, there's something, even though, right, if it's, I know, you would call me on FaceTime or whatever it is, but if you're on the move, it doesn't feel very engaging. So, the fact that we've been sitting still has given us a lot more time to be present for our conversations. I'd say about 50% of my conversations are with people that have just been introduced to me that we could be potential networking, and we're spending 30 minutes not distracted, not looking at our cell phones or our texts. And we know how much, we can also be engaged, and we can be distracted by technology. So I think, the Zoom room is certainly, we've heard about Zoom fatigue and things of that nature. So obviously my job is to keep people engaging, moving around, creating circulation, but the potentials for, like you said, authentic connection with partners from around the world, because you don't know who had somebody affected either through illness, through economically. So I think there's a higher degree of sensitivity to making connections that are real. That's not just quick, like, let me give you the sales pitch, you know, and jump away from the fact that I'm sitting with a human being who made this time to be here and be present.
It became common, even sending an email and asking for a video meeting. It became common all of a sudden, instead of just exchanging emails back and forth.
No, in fact, I asked most people, would you prefer phone or Zoom? And most people's response, it's pretty interesting, right? Is like, I'll take the Zoom. I'll take the person, the ability to see someone, the ability to be seen, and how human that is. And business is just, an extension of our humanity, right? The extension of our connections and how we work in the world and how we operate and enable people to function in an improved and more efficient manner, especially with the use of technology. So thank you for being on the front lines to that. And we're going to look to you as we get the signals here, whether we get the go ahead to open up further about how to step, our toes forward safely and securely. And we hope our listeners, if you have any questions, please, for Yuval, he's open, he's available, he will answer you truthfully. If you haven't gotten questions during the live video, please answer them in the chat, and we'll try and get response either from myself or from Yuval on e-commerce and taking business forward in 2020. Any parting words, Yuval, for today?
Listen, I thought about maybe interviewing you a little bit. How are you coming out of it? What is the situation with you guys right now?
Well, we haven't come out yet. We haven't. So we got the extension. I don't know if it was official or unofficial. It's a little bit. It's a little hard with this. You don't want the media overload of hearing too much. On the other hand, if you don't get the updates from the mayor or certainly we're in Los Angeles here, it's a very dense city. People are on top of each other, so they have not relaxed all the restrictions yet. There's still a stay-in-home order. As a psychologist, I think there's certain relaxed restrictions, although the ethics and safety that we provide care with, especially when you see either younger people or older people, seniors are certainly very sensitive populations. So I've moved my business almost completely to telehealth for right now, and certainly a boom in podcasts because people are more available. So I'm grateful for that people are making time, and we'll be moving into recording 2 shows today. So but it is hard on a lot of people, and you feel the angst and some people really conflicted as economic pressures go up.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a family, guy, certainly schools have been canceled for the year. Little League has been canceled. I mean, really historic things have been canceled, and sports still being on hold is really really hard for a lot of people, and it's kind of a continued loss, an aspect of grief, um, which can turn into a lot of other fun things. I'm pulling out boxes of baseball cards from when I was a kid, and so bringing back old things to keep things alive. You have to recreate it, make it much more fun. So, bike riding through the neighborhood, you can go a little bit more, safely in the middle of the street here. You can explore, whereas when you're in a car of dense gridlock, normally you can't. So there's some silver linings, which are really sweet. But certainly,
Do you see any special fear in the streets? People are afraid of what's going on, or is it going?
it's hard to know. It's hard to know what's what. I mean, what's triggering what, but there's definitely, online people contesting hotly. LA's a very spread out city, so it's not like there's a center. But I think people, the mayor's house is under full protection here. Some people are not too happy with the extension of the stay-at-home order, and certainly, we're in a city of mass immigration. Los Angeles is really just like New York, where I'm from, center of immigration. So a lot of people who are depending on working in homes or working, so limiting public transportation, things like this is really affects. I think they say, it really affects the income gap, and those who are really struggling at the bottom. And then you look at those children in those homes. So that, that's my concern as a professional, is to be there for the next generation of people who are going through something, equivalent of being really seeing parents scared and nervous and not having answers and not being able to predict is really terrifying. And certainly when people can't go out or release their anxiety or stress, so it gets taken out in the home, or it gets really absorbed in those walls. So um, we're hoping that people are using the low fee sliding scale resources out there, whether it be through OpenPath, or BetterHelp, I think, is another one that offers that, even via text. There's new things out there, and certainly, do your due diligence. But maybe, if there is a time to try those modalities to see if they work for you, it may be now. There's an app called the COVID Coach, is one of them, that has mindfulness for anxiety and depression on your phone, whether you're Android or Apple. So, and there's more resources I can share with our listeners, but there are things that it could be very natural to have some sort of, at least periods of your day or week, where there's intense emotions, even as you go back into the release, because there's going to be these questions there until we have a full sense of safety, of trusting in vaccination and treatment. There's going to be a little bit of anxiety there, and some of that's healthy, right, to keep you protected. I think, anytime you just kind of turn a blind eye, I respect the people that are feeling free and want to enjoy life, but we have to be sensitive and careful. Just because we've seen friends. That's the beauty of the online world. We're no longer hidden from seeing what's happened in other parts of the world. So, a healthy awareness and preventative measures is the safest course.
Okay. Cool. So
Yeah.
listen, we have here this week, the kids are going back to school, and we see that even though kids were afraid from the news, and they were, they really, some of them were really terrified from the situation, they forgot about it very fast, and they're playing together, and they forgot even the little limitation that they have here today about school and stuff. They're not, they're going out of school and they're going together in a group, even though they shouldn't. So I think it's like there is like there isn't the right path, but there is a golden path that each person find for himself, what to take from this situation that we had, and what to take with him for the future, and what to leave behind. And I think that the key is to leave behind the fear and the uncertainty. I think was the biggest problem for everyone. People
Hmm.
didn't know when it will end and how it will end. But at the end, at least here in Israel, it ended well in a way, and with not that many casualties and not that many people sick. And the economy here, the businesses, especially the small and medium businesses, were hurt significantly. But I hope now they will rise back and move fast.
Yeah, I think you're certainly, you're touching on something there. Kids are very resilient, and they will adapt the minute they can play. They will go play. They're a lot more connected to what they need than we are, who have built up habits of overwork and overstress and not taking care of ourselves. So we hope that is true. But certainly, the beauty of all this and certain cultures that have not found themselves in kind of getting into a post-traumatic stress situation has been because there was tremendous social support. So the fact that everyone's been through this is not something, although each one's going through it differently in their home and their situation, and whether or not your family had two parents that were or a single parent, and a small business owner and lost your job versus somebody who just, was able to work from home and get more bonding in. So everyone's experience is different, but the fact that there's a commonality that your teachers, your therapists, your guidance counselors at school should be aware that if you're having any residual changes, that there will be support for you, if things do continue to come up in the transition. So parents, we all have to be there, be kind of uncles and I think this should enhance our sense of community, however it's going to look over the next year, and provide that, whether it be motivational, emotional, or instructional support for somebody else who's struggling, giving them either resources to go to, things they can do to care for themselves, or just being someone to just connect with. And whether it be continuing some of these practices of video chat or whatever it is, so that they can maintain that sense of connection. Even seeing you over video chat, right? People that we know over years, over distance, it's a sense of peace, and so in the end, that's what we're all looking for, right? This sense of connection, and that life is still good and connected no matter what is happening externally. And that's kind of an internal trust that gets built up both within yourself and in your relationships. So that's the work we're trying to do. And if anyone needs that kind of help, please reach out to me, richardlistens.com, or a local provider to you from one of the resources I mentioned. We all need that kind of outside care sometimes to get through things and get back on the right foot, let alone during great times. Anyway, thank you so much for putting me on the hot seat, Mr. Yuval, and we hope you're enjoying making most of your experience. Be careful going off-road. Look for any X-Wing fighters out there, or whatever you discover in the desert. Who knows what's come during quarantine. But keep sharing the pictures. At least we feel like we're going alongside with you. And congratulations to PPC winner for being a real a host of both of this, bringing the guests together for this series, which we hope will continue, and also for setting, being a trendsetter in going forward through 2020 and creating new vision, using technology and connection across the globe to enhance e-commerce.
Thank you for your time.
Yuval.
I was happy to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.